Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be making this fantastic looking pizza, and we're going to be using the Caputo Nuvola Super. It's a flour that I've been wanting to get my hands on for quite some time, and I've had some requests off you guys to get using it. So we're going to be doing a 70% hydration over 72 hours using the flour. It is from Ration Pantry, and if you use that QR code you might get some. So we're going to be using 1 kilogram of flour, just adding that in and weighing it out. There we go, 1 kilogram. And of course, for that 70%, we need 700 grams of water. Just weighing that out now. Fantastic. Brilliant. Right, okay, so we're going to be using 1 gram of yeast, and I'm using the Caputo yeast. That's been requested as well, so a couple of requests fulfilled for you guys today on our channel, just giving that a stir around, mixing it all together. So we're going to gradually add in that Caputo Nuvola Super, and we're going to mix that together. Well, as it's now spring here in the UK, we thought that we should really start using cold fermentation processes, and we thought that this flour would fit the bill, and it's something that we've been wanting to do for quite some time, using this flour over a long hydration period. So have you used this flour before? Please tell us in the comments what were your thoughts on it. This has been a flour that we've wanted to use for quite some time, but being able to get it in smaller quantities has been quite difficult. I saw it on Ration Pantry and I thought, well, it's 3 kilograms, let's buy it. So it goes without saying, as always, thank you so much for everybody who's taken the time to subscribe. It really means so much to myself and Oliver. And, you know, please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. We try and make as much pizza as we possibly can using all these different flours and the different ingredients, making sure that we try before you buy. So you'll have seen from the pictures that the dough is coming along really nicely, and the flour is absorbing all that water now, and it's coming to a point where it's becoming really difficult to stir with the fork. The bowls that we use, by the way, are scratch resistant, so there's no worry about microplastics. I've seen some comments asking me about microplastics. It's not a concern. These are scratch resistant bowls. So just pouring a little bit of flour onto the work surface and pouring the dough out on top of it. I've just saved a little bit of flour as always, just so I can give that bowl a scrape out and get most of the dough. It's quite expensive flour, of course, so we need to save as much as we can. So we need to mix and knead for around about 10 minutes. We are going to add the salt in later on, so don't worry about I've not missed the salt or anything. I do deliberately leave it out and put it in later on. So just incorporating all those ingredients. Now, it's a 70% hydration, quite a strong flour as well. Stickiness, well, you'll see that it does start to stick a little, but nothing too major that we couldn't handle. And what you'll see is that all the flour gets incorporated really quickly, but we do have a bit of sticking, so just a couple of knocks on the work surface, just running it in between my fingers. It did come to eventually, but if it's not working for you, my best advice for you is just leave it alone for an hour and come back to it, and you'll find that it's far less sticky. But we're just trying to build up that gluten, and it stopped sticking now to the work surface, as you probably can see. So I'll be able to start to give it a good knead and start to really develop that gluten content in the dough itself. Okay, so we need to add 20 grams of salt. We need to add that gradually, and making sure that it gets incorporated evenly through the dough. If you are mixing by hand, it's easier to just put the salt in little by little, I always find. If you've got a stand mixer, you can probably just add it in all in one go, and away you go. But on this channel, of course, we do make our dough by hand. It is deliberate. That is our niche, using his hands. So we've added 2 lots of the salt in there to the mix, and as you can see, no sticking at all now. This dough is really smooth, really nice and easy to work with. Just putting in the last bit of salt now, and as always, it's just popped out there at the side, which is really annoying, but none went on the floor, so we know we've got 20 grams in there still. And we'll just now make sure that all that salt is incorporated into the mix, and then it will be ready for making it into a nice ball. So just giving it some taps onto the work surface just to get it nice and smooth, and then we'll start to create that mass dough ball. And look at that, how smooth it is. So this Caputo Nuvola Super is super. It really is. So we're going to place it in a mixing bowl, and we're going to cover it with a shower cap, and then we're just going to leave it at room temperature for an hour just to let everything settle down. So after the hour, we're then going to take that over to the fridge, and we're going to open up that fridge. There's nothing much in that fridge, unfortunately. I'm going to let it refrigerate for 63 hours. So after 63 hours, it's time to take it out of the fridge, and we're going to put it on the side, leave it for 2 hours to come back up to room temperature. So after 2 hours, let's have a look what we've got. And that looks quite exciting in there. Lots of air bubbles, and when I open it up, you're going to see lots and lots of gluten structure inside. And this is definitely ready for balling up. Wow, it looks terrific. It really does. So we're going to make in 7 230 gram pizza balls, which will give us 7 10-inch pizzas, which is just the right size for a Gozney Roccbox. So just dipping that into some smaller flour, and I will weigh it, doing it the wrong way around. So 230 grams, should have weighed it first, but never mind. So doesn't matter. We'll now make it into a pizza ball, and it came to really quickly. That is in real time, no cutting out there. So pop these into these brand new Poundland tubs. So £1.25 each, these, and they're really good because they've got a screw top, so a bit easier and a bit more sustainable. So we're going to let them rest now for 4 hours. Pizza time's coming right up. So it's pizza time. This is what everybody looks forward to when they're making the pizza dough, and it's no different for me. So using some smaller flour, just putting that into the tub, and look how easy that comes out. Terrific. So just dousing the ball in the flour, and then using his fingers, just start to work our way out. And if you are new to pizza making, this bit is where you get the fluffy crust, so you need to avoid about 1 centimetre from the edge. Don't touch that area, it's like the red zone, keep out of it. So just using the steering wheel method there, just to let the base fall away, and avoiding touching the absolute outer edge of that pizza base. Again, that is where you get the crust, so you need all the air undisturbed in there. Now, you might get a few little air bubbles, especially in the summer. If you do get those, just make sure you pop them before you put them in the oven, because otherwise they will burn, and you'll just end up with a burnt bubble. So just a couple there from me, and again, just turning that around, just making sure that we get as much of that dough stretched out. So just stretching that final bit with my hands now. There you go, terrific looking pizza base. So on with some tomato sauce. That looks fantastic. So using the Mutti tomato sauce, it is my personal favourite. And speaking of favourites, what's your favourite toppings? Please tell us in the comments. So today on this one, we're going to be using some pepperoni. And as it's Oliver's in a second, on will go some ham. He likes his ham cooked as well. I know some of you prefer it just the Serrano ham on there. Just using some fresh mozzarella now just to fill in the gaps. And that'll make a nice cheesy pizza for Oliver. So onto the peel. Nice and easy. Bit of a reshape. Just make sure it goes back round. And then we'll put that into the oven. And the oven for the Gozney Roccbox is at 400. You can go all in at 500, but I just find it just burns a little bit on the base if you have it too hot. So this is uncut, because I know that some of you like to see the full cook whilst it's in the pizza oven itself. So just heating up that turning peel. It's going to get ready for its first turn. Now this, when it was filmed, was in January, so it was rather cold. So it does take a little bit longer in the Roccbox when the weather is colder. When it's hotter, it does actually cook a lot quicker. So just giving that another little bit of a 90-degree turn. But look at that, that crust is rising up already and everything is starting to sizzle away and it's looking superb. So just keep turning the pizza. You don't want to leave it too long exposed to that flame to one side, otherwise you'll end up with an uneven cook on the crust. And you are looking for that leapening, of course. Something that I've not always mastered myself. I'm no expert on it, but I do try my best. But just keeping it turned does help significantly with that result. Look at that steam coming out. Wow, looks fantastic. Let's get it on the chopping board. I'm sure you'll admit that's a terrific looking pizza. Now let's have a look underneath. That looks pretty good. We do let it cool off a little bit, so that's why it's stiffened off a bit. So let's have a listen. That sounds amazing. I love that crispiness and that softness as well. So please leave a comment. What did you think of this one? My personal opinion is this is one of the best flours if you're going to be doing a long prove. Definitely get this stuff from Ration Pantry. So please consider subscribing to the channel. It really, really does help us. This flour is really, really one of the best. So as always, thanks for watching and bye for now.